Story Corner, presented by Jennifer. Warriors. Book 1, Into the Wild. Chapter 11. Firepaw returned with a chiffon gripped firmly between his teeth. He dropped it in front of Tiger Claw, who stood waiting in the hollow. "You're the first one back," meowed the warrior. "Yeah, but I've got loads more prey to fetch," Firepaw mewed quickly. "I buried it back." "I know exactly what you did," Tiger Claw growled. "I've been watching you." A swish of bushes announced Greypaw's return. He was carrying a small squirrel in his mouth, which he dropped beside Firepaw's chiffon. "Yuck," he spat. "Squirrels are too furry. I'll be picking hair out of my teeth all evening." Tiger Claw paid no attention to Greypaw's grumblings. "Ravenpaw is late," he observed. "We'll give him a bit longer, then return to camp." "But what if he's been bitten by an adder?" Firepaw protested. "Then it's his own fault," Tiger Claw replied coldly. "There's no room for fools in ThunderClan." They waited in silence, Greypaw and Firepaw exchanging glances, worried about Ravenpaw. Tiger Claw sat motionless, apparently lost in his own thoughts. Firepaw was the first to scent Ravenpaw's arrival. He jumped to his paws as the black cat leapt into the clearing, looking unusually pleased with himself. Dangling from his mouth was the long, diamond-patterned body of an adder. "Ravenpaw, are you okay?" Firepaw called. "Hey," meowed Greypaw, rushing forward to admire Ravenpaw's catch. "Did that bite you?" "I was too quick for it," Ravenpaw purred loudly. Then he caught Tiger Claw's eye and fell silent. Tiger Claw fixed all three excited apprentices with a cold stare. "Come on," he said shortly. "Let's collect the rest of your prey and get back to camp." Firepaw, Greypaw, and Ravenpaw entered the camp, strolling behind Tiger Claw. Their impressive day's catch hung from their mouths, though Ravenpaw kept tripping over his dead snake. As they emerged from the grouse into the camp, a group of young kits scrambled out of the nursery to watch them pass. "Look," Firepaw heard one of them say, "apprentices just back from hunting." He recognized the little tabby yellow thing had hissed at the day before. Sitting next to him was a fluffy gray kitten, no more than 2 moons old. A tiny black kit and a small tortoiseshell stood beside them. "Isn't that the kitty pet, Firepaw?" squeaked the gray kit. Yeah, look at his orange coat, mewed the black one. They say he's a good hunter, the tortoiseshell added. He looks a bit like Lionheart. Do you suppose he'll be as good as him? I can't wait to start my training, mewed the tabby. I'm going to be the best warrior ThunderClan has ever seen. Firepaw lifted his chin, feeling proud at the kid's admiring comments. He followed his two friends to the center of the clearing. An adder? Greypaw mewed again as the apprentices dropped their catch for the other cats to share. What should I do with it? Asked Ravenpaw, sniffing the snake's long body as it lay beside the heap. Can you eat adders? Asked Greypaw. Trust you to think of your stomach, Firepaw joked, butting Greypaw with his head. Well, I wouldn't want to eat it, murmured Ravenpaw. I mean, my mouth tastes pretty foul after carrying it back. Let's put it on the tree stump then, suggested Greypaw, so that Dustpaw and Sandpaw can see it when they get back. They each carried a piece of their fresh kill to the adder, their fresh kill and the adder back to their den. Greypaw carefully placed the adder on the stump, arranging the snake so that it could be seen clearly from all sides. Then they ate. When they had finished, they sat close together to groom one another and talk. I wonder who Blue Star is going to choose to go to the gathering, Firepaw meowed. It'll be full moon tomorrow. Sandpaw and Dustpaw have been twice already, replied Greypaw. Perhaps Blue Star will choose one of us this time, meowed Firepaw. After all, we've been training for almost 3 moons now. But Sandpaw and Dustpaw are still the eldest apprentices, Ravenpaw pointed out. Firepaw nodded. And this gathering will be an important one. It'll be the first time the clans have met since WingClan disappeared. No cat knows what ShadowClan is going to say about it. Tigerclaw's low meow interrupted them. You are right, youngster, the warrior said as he strolled up to them unnoticed. By the way, Firepaw, he added smoothly, Blue Star wants to see you. Firepaw looked up startled. Why would Blue Star want to see him? Now, if you can spare the time, Tigerclaw meowed. Firepaw jumped up immediately and bounded off across the clearing towards Blue Star's den. Blue Star was sitting outside, her tail flicking restlessly back and forth. When she saw Firepaw, she stood up and looked steadily down at him. Tigerclaw has told me that he saw you talking with a cat from the Two-Leg place today, she meowed quietly. But, Firepaw began, he says that you began by fighting with this cat, but ended up sharing tongues with it. That's true, Firepaw admitted, feeling his fur prick defensively. But he was an old friend. We grew up together. He paused and swallowed. When I was a kitty pet. Blue Star looked at him for a long moment. Do you miss your old life, Firepaw? She asked. Think carefully now. No. How could Blue Star think that? Firepaw wondered. His head was spinning. What was Blue Star trying to make him say? Do you wish to leave the clan? Of course not. Firepaw was shocked by her question. Blue Star didn't seem to hear the passion in his answer. She shook her head, looking suddenly old and tired. I won't judge you if you leave us, Firepaw. Perhaps I expected too much of you. Perhaps my judgment has been clouded by the clan's need for new warriors. Panic swept through Firepaw at the thought of leaving the clan forever. But my place is here. This is my home, he protested. I need more than that, Firepaw. I need to be able to trust in your loyalty to ThunderClan, especially now that it looks like ShadowClan is planning an attack. We don't have room for anyone who isn't sure where their hearts lie in the past or whether their hearts lie in the past or the present. Firepaw took a deep breath and chose his next words carefully. When I saw Smudge today, that's the house cat Tigerclaw saw me talking with, I saw what life would have been like if I had stayed with the Two Legs. I felt happy that I had not stayed. I was proud I left. He held Blue Star's gaze without flinching. Meeting Smudge made me certain I made the right decision. I could never have been satisfied with the soft life of a kitty pet. Blue Star looked closely at him for a moment. Her eyes narrowed. Then she nodded. Very well, she said. I believe you. Firepod dipped his head respectfully and let out a silent sigh of relief. I spoke to Yellowfang earlier, meowed Blue Star in a lighter tone. She thinks a lot of you. She's a wise old she-cat, you know, and I suspect she wasn't always bad-tempered. Indeed, I think I could grow to like her. Firepaw felt an unexpected glow of pleasure at these words. Maybe, in caring for Yellowfang, his administration for her had grown into affection. Admiration for her had grown into affection, despite the she-cat's ill temper. Whatever the reason, he was glad Blue Star liked her too. But there's something about her that I don't trust, Blue Star went on quietly. She will stay with ThunderClan for now, but remain as a prisoner. The queens will care for her. You must concentrate on your training. Firepaw nodded and waited to be dismissed, but Blue Star hadn't finished. Firepaw, although you showed bad judgment today in talking to a house cat, Tiger Claw was impressed with your hunting skills. In fact, he reported that you all did well. I am pleased with your progress. You will come to the gathering, all three of you. Firepaw could hardly stand still. His body tingled with excitement. The gathering! What about Stampaw and Dustpaw? He mewed. They will remain behind and guard the camp, replied Blue Star. Now you may go. She flicked her long tail to show that he was dismissed and returned to her grooming. Graypaw and Ravenpaw looked stunned to see Firepaw bounding happily towards them. They had been waiting nervously for him beside the tree stump. Firepaw sat down and looked at his friends. Well? Graypaw demanded. What did she say? Tiger Claw told us you had been sharing tongues with a kitty pet this morning, burst out Ravenpaw. Are you in trouble? No, although Blue Star wasn't pleased, Firepaw admitted ruefully. She thought I might want to leave ThunderClan. You don't, do you? Asked Ravenpaw. Of course he doesn't, mewed Graypaw. Firepaw gave his gray friend an affectionate swipe. Yeah, you'd hate that. You need me to catch mice for you. All you can catch these days are hairy old squirrels. Graypaw dodged out of the way of Firepaw's blow and reared up on his back legs to retaliate. You'll never guess what else she said, Firepaw went on. He was too excited to waste time play fighting. Graypaw immediately dropped back onto all four paws. What? He asked. We're going to the gathering. Graypaw let out a yell of delight and bounded up onto the tree stump. One of his back paws knocked the adder flying. It hit Ravenpaw on the head and wrapped itself around his neck. Ravenpaw spat with alarm and surprise, and then turned on Graypaw. Watch it, he hissed crossly. He shook the adder onto the ground. Scared it might bite you? Firepaw teased. He crouched down and hissed, sliding up to Ravenpaw. Ravenpaw twitched his whiskers in retort. Some snake you'd make. He leapt onto Firepaw and rolled him easily onto his back. Graypaw reached down from the tree stump and gave Ravenpaw's tail a tug. As Ravenpaw turned to thump Graypaw with a soft forepaw, Firepaw jumped to his feet and leapt onto both of them, sending Graypaw flying from the stump. All three cats tumbled into the dirt and tussled on the ground. Finally, they fell apart and settled themselves, panting beside the tree stump. Are Sandpaw and Dustpaw coming too? Puffed Graypaw. Nope, Firepaw replied, unable to disguise the note of triumph in his voice. They have to stay behind and guard the camp. Oh, let me tell them, begged Graypaw. I can't wait to see the looks on their faces. Me neither, Firepaw agreed. I can't believe we're going instead of them, especially after Tiger Claw saw me talking with Smudge today. That was just bad luck, answered Grey Paw. We all caught loads of prey in the assessment. That must be what decided it. I wonder what the gathering will be like, yelled Ravenpaw. It'll be fantastic, Grey Paw replied confidently. I bet all the greatest warriors will be there. Clawface, Stonefur. But Firepaw wasn't listening anymore. Instead, he found himself thinking about Tiger Claw and Smudge. Grey Paw was right. It was bad luck that the great warrior had been observing him when he met his old friend. Why couldn't he have been watching Grey Paw or Ravenpaw instead? In fact, it was bad luck that Tiger Claw had sent him so near the two-leg place at all. Suddenly, a dark thought entered Firepaw's mind. Why had Tiger Claw sent him so near his old haunts? Had he wanted to test him? Could it be the great dark warrior didn't trust his loyalty to ThunderClan?